everyone, my name is Roslyn Oguche. I'm the founder and lead instructor at Imma Fashion Academy, IFA. So Imma Fashion Academy is an online learning platform where we teach you various skills in fashion designing, cutting across so many disciplines. So on today's tutorial, we're going to be looking at different equipment and tools necessary for pattern drafting, and I'm going to be mentioning about 20 basic equipment and tools used in pattern drafting. Like I would always advise my students who wishes to go into production or basically ready to wear, I would always advise that you get the required knowledge in pattern drafting. Why? So that you can size, you can grade, you can draft your patterns. When you're going into ready to wear, all you need to be focused on doing is just producing, and with so much accuracy and precision. So today I'll be showing us various tools that are required in pattern drafting. I like to mention that you may not necessarily get all this equipment I'm going to show you. It's working for me because I'm a patternist and I have acquired all these tools because I need them for the kind of job that I do, okay? But you might be doing yours on a small scale, so don't go giving yourself a whole lot of stress to get all the tools I'll be mentioning right now, because it's still not exhaustive, okay? I just selected 20 that I'll be talking about and mentioning. So the first on my list is pattern paper. I categorize my pattern papers according to their weight. There are lightweight pattern papers. They come in form of white paper like this. I refer to this as A0. This measures about 36 inches by 24 inches and is also available in brown, okay? Brown paper is also good for pattern drafting, but I always prefer the white one. Why? Because all my inscriptions, pencil and markers show clearly on the white paper and it's kind of tidy for me to work with. So there are different sizes of this, but I recommend this one that measures about 36 by 24 inches so that you can take some moderately big patterns. By weight, I also have the heavyweight pattern papers, which I often refer to as oak tag, okay, or a tag board or a manila board. The lightweight ones are usually for the actual drafting of your patterns and for keeping patterns that you use very frequently, okay? And then you can construct directly on this because you need to fold at some point and all of that, transfer that, manipulate that and all. But when you're done with your drafting and you want to save your pattern for future use, you ought to transfer them to a heavyweight paper such as this, okay? Let me show you an example of what I use them for. For instance, this is an oak tag board and trouser pattern size 20 the front, and this is size 20 back. This has been transferred to an oak tag board. This is the back pattern of a size 8 bodice, okay? This is for children. So the oak tag board is very important for storing patterns for future use. Rulers. I classify my rulers as straight or curved rulers. Under straight classification, you have the 40-inch rule, which can come in shorter form, and then you have the flexible type that is marked in centimeters and inches and have other smaller markings that helps you during pattern drafting. Then you also have the L-shaped rule. as you can see here, the L-shaped rule, and then we have also the curved rulers. I have rulers like the hip curve and various shapes and lengths of variform curve. Okay, this is a curve that helps you shape armhole and all of that. But if you're just starting out, this is kind of popular. This is kind of popular. It's available in bookshops and it has an inbuilt protractor. Okay, it has an inbuilt straight ruler. It has the hip curve inbuilt. It has so many things inbuilt and it costs just 1.5. So you can just have this and a straight rule of even shorter length and start with. Don't go looking for all this to start, because this cost me almost 40,000 if you want to put all of this together. So I don't want you to waste time gathering all of these rulers before you get started. I'm a patternist, like I mentioned earlier, so I need them for my work, but I'm just also introducing them to you so that you have a broader knowledge of what kind of rulers are necessary for pattern drafting. I have Pattern Master here, which is the baddest of them all. Now, this is the plastic type, but you also have it available in wooden, metal, and the flexible rubber type. So whichever suits your budget, do well to get them for your pattern drafting. This will be the measuring tape. This is the retractable measuring tape, and it measures 120. This is 120 inches. You have them in various lengths, but I would recommend that you don't get any measuring tape less than 60 inches. You have the free type that is flexible and is not retractable. You can get that as well. I think this is about 50 naira or thereabouts. So you can always work with even a low budget and get your equipment. Next is the tracing wheel. It's also referred to as dart wheel or pattern wheel. They are used on paper, while the blunted ones are used on carbon paper, okay, to transfer patterns from carbon paper onto the fabric. But the sharp ones can easily tear the carbon papers and so are not advisable. It's a very simple but efficient tool to use. Next will be the awl. This is the awl. It is a simple tool as well, with rounded holder and a sharp pointed edge. It is used to bore holes on patterns, okay, or to enlarge already existing hole. The awl can also be used to punch and show the end of darts, and then to manipulate darts. Masking tape is next. Now, masking tape can be used to hold patterns in place and hold different patterns, close darts. You use them to seal up darts that you're transferring somewhere else and all of that right on the pattern paper. So when it's in use, I will explain further when we begin practical pattern drafting. Then next will be our scissors. Now this is my fabric scissors, and I also have a paper scissors. You use paper scissors strictly on paper, while you use fabric scissors strictly on fabric to cut through your fabrics. Next will be pencils. We have various types of pencils. You have the HB pencil, you have the 2H pencil, you have 2B pencil, which is much more darker than HB, and then they are all important for pattern drafting. You have also on the list your sharpener and eraser, okay? Your sharpener and eraser. This is to sharpen your pencils, while this is to erase your pencil marks while drafting or any mistake possibly made. Next will be our dressmakers pin. Like I always recommend, this is the usual dressmaker pin I use for basically all my work. And here they are slimmer than the regular ones and longer, so it's easy to hold fabrics in place while cutting. Next is pin cushion and pin holder. You can use basically several types of pin cushion and holders. You can use your usual magnet, drop it on the table or hang it somewhere. It holds your pin in place. You can use a wrist cushion like the one I'm wearing with inbuilt magnet to hold your pins and make them readily available when you're working on your patterns. Or you can use the foam type of cushion as well that you can wear on your wrist, or the type that you can drop right on your table. Next will be a pattern metal weight. It can be metal, it can be wood, it can be anything, but I'll just advise that whatever you're getting for your pattern weight, you just make sure they are nothing less than about 4 or thereabout, so that you can use them on various positions to hold down your pattern while you're working or tracing off a pattern. This is a wooden weight. I can get about 4 of these. You can even use pebbles or stones or glass, okay? You can use metal, anything that is weighty and can hold down paper or fabrics when you're working on your patterns is fine. Next will be our glue stick. This is uhu stick, okay? It's a glue stick usually used for gluing different papers together, okay? Assuming you're working on a very long skirt and your paper cannot take the length of the skirt, you need to glue 2 pieces of paper together in order to achieve some desired length. So you use your uhu stick to just glue very fast those pieces of paper together. Next is our pattern puncher. This is the pattern puncher. It helps you punch a rounded hole on your patterns. For instance, this is my shirt pattern. Not for my size anyway, but this is a shirt pattern. I can just use the pattern puncher to punch a rounded hole right there. See? And then this can help you to get it hung on a pattern hanger like this. So it helps you to easily store away your pattern rather than always folding them. The pattern puncher comes very handy for that purpose. You can also use them to punch this kind of patterns on oak tag board as well. So here, you can punch this and then hang it right there. Next will be our stapler and staple pin remover. This is my stapler, and then this is a staple pin remover. It's very, very small but efficient in removing staple pins from paper. And you need a stapler to staple piles of papers together to prevent it from going apart, okay, when you're working on your patterns. Next will be the chalk, okay, Tailors chalk. This is a common one and is available in about 5 different colors in the market. It costs just 50 naira and you can use them to mark out patterns on your fabric. And as an alternative to this, when you're working with certain colors of fabrics, you can also use the erasable markers, okay, like the water washable marker pen, and then also this type that can go off, fade off after about 48 hours or thereabout. Then this is also no sharpening, erasable or disappearing pen. They fade off and they are ideal for very light colors that you don't need chalks to stay on. Push pins are very important for pattern manipulation and then transferring patterns from paper to your muslin. We have pens and markers as well. So these are very important tools in pattern drafting. We have big type of marker pens, and then we have the smaller type. Okay, these big ones have a bolder tip, and then these smaller ones have a thinner tip that can help you mark on paper. So most times I use the red and black most times to indicate pattern changes. Okay, then I use the green and blue to show pattern information like front, back, and all of that. Then this one's pattern changes, like if you're grading and so many other things. You just use different colors for different purposes. Next on the list will be our pattern hooks or hanger hooks. Okay, I use my hanger hooks to hang anything basically. I can use it, as you can see, for my rulers, both curved and straight rulers, and I can use them to hang my patterns. So they are just hooks that are tied to a rope that helps you suspend all these things from a rod. Okay, so these are pattern hooks, and they have a curved hook at the edge that hooks on the various holes on these equipment and patterns. They are very important because it helps you preserve a whole lot of things that you may not be aware of. But I'm not just saying as a beginner you should go looking for pattern and hanger hooks. No, you can start with what you have, but these are very important tools. Next will be my working surface. The working surface, you need a working surface that is plain, flat, and smooth. It should measure about 60 inch by 36, and it should have a height of about 35 thereabouts. Okay, which is equivalent to 90 or 92 cm, so that you prevent your waist from aching when you bend over to work. The height should be moderate. If you get it too low, it gives you stress. Okay, and if it's too high, it kind of gives you pain on the arm. So let it just be moderate, such that if you stand, you can comfortably walk around your work surface. Okay, I have both the red and white board. For instance, if I'm working with white paper, I prefer to use the red working surface. That now makes everything I'm doing on the white paper visible enough for my students to watch and emulate. But if I'm working on other things like fabric, I can use the white plain surface as my working surface. With this, we have come to the end of this tutorial. If this tutorial was helpful in any way to you, please feel free to give us a thumbs up, share this video with friends and family, and don't forget to subscribe to our channels. Turn on your notification bell so you don't miss our weekly videos that will be dropping every week. Okay, I encourage you to own your creativity and always develop yourself. I remain your reliable fashion coach. Thank you. Bye.